Now, what I want us to do and what I want us to focus on is creating a mindset that keeps us stable in all circumstances. Okay. And we're going to focus on that and how that relates to real estate. Because this one thing I know for sure after coaching so many agents is that if you can manage your mindset and you can keep your mindset in a good place, you can be successful. It's your mind, it's what happens between right here that keeps you in the game of real estate. And that's why managing our mindset is so important. So, what is an established set of attitudes that maybe came to your mind that you can think of that comes up whenever your mindset is bad? Can you think of something that you could give us as an example?
I think in my mindset, like I'm super excited about this class because I know for me, like I'm a big believer in mind over matter, but I have a hard time staying with it. I think that just even getting a little bit behind, I'll be on a roll for 4, 5, 7 days in a row. And then all of a sudden I don't do something one day. And instead of like just going back to where I left off, I kind of get down on myself about it. My mindset is like, Elizabeth, all of a sudden you're behind. And yeah, it's a struggle for me.
Okay. So what is your mindset in regards to, so maybe it's your calendar. So, or it's not your calendar, it's your routine. Okay. So let me just give you an example. I'm going to give you an example and use myself. I'm going to be vulnerable here. Okay. So when I was growing up, I grew up in a very fixed religious mindset with parents who were very religious, very by the book on everything, sets of rules and regulations that you could do and couldn't do. It was and one of the things that I was taught at an early age was that women were supportive to men, that women didn't take leadership roles, but they were in supportive roles or admin roles. So the way that established mindset shows up in my life today as an adult is a lot of times early in my real estate career, I would always defer to a man. Like if we were both going on a listing appointment, I would always say, well, he could probably do a better job than I could, and I'll support him. I'll be in the admin role or a supportive role instead of taking the lead as the lead agent. I felt that was more where I was comfortable or where I should be. And that was an established attitude or mindset that had been developed in me as a child. And what causes the madness to set in is whenever I listen to that, when I say that's right, that isn't wrong, that's correct. Instead, what I've learned as an adult is I have every bit as much authority or right to be in that lead role as that man does. And this is business. And I have to step up and take that. But what will happen to me sometimes is because of that fixed mindset that I had so long ago, it will shut me down. And if it's a really powerful or strong personality in a male or something, I will immediately shut down to it. Or I feel like I only can really relate to females, or that I can only teach females. And the funny thing is I coach more men than women now because I've really overcome a lot of that. But that's a fixed mindset. That's an example of that fixed mindset. So Elizabeth, when you think about the fact that it shuts you down, okay, whenever, and the madness comes in, whenever you don't complete something, when you don't stay on goal or stay on task. What do you think that comes from?
Well, it's kind of funny that you talk about it. I grew up in a family of 11. And so, girls really, back then, my parents were born in the 30s. Girls don't really take power positions. We certainly don't have opinions in my house. And not that I'm long beyond beyond my house, way outside of my house. But even still, to this day, and I'm super close with my mom, but still, even to this day, it's more like, get a real job, Elizabeth, or the security, something with like insurance. And so sometimes I think, oh, is it easier just to go back here instead of like, I mean, I'm an incredible person. There's no reason I shouldn't be highly successful in this. I'm Aries, I'm strong opinionated, I'm super smart in this, but there's just something.
So what I want you to do as we go throughout this class today, I want you to keep that in the back of your mind, okay? Mm-hmm. That might be an established attitude that is affecting you in completing your goals, but it might not be that. Something else might come up, because I was just using that as an example for me and how that works, but that might be something, okay? So I want you to be thinking about, how do I, and not just Elizabeth, but all of you, how do I respond in regards to my business with this mindset? How does this mindset affect me? Okay. Now, generally, when the madness takes over our mindset, we have a fear or flight or fight response, correct? We either run from the problem altogether, or we fight and we dig in and we fight. Now, I believe there is a third response, and that is freeze. Okay, so we freeze, we fight, or we flee. Okay, and a lot of times what I do is I freeze. Like I said earlier, in a situation, I'm at a listing appointment, or I'm in a room where there's multiple men and a few women, and the speaker is asking questions, and I'll wait until the man answers first, and then I feel like I can pipe in, or something, that's how it affects me, okay? But what I would do is I would shut down altogether. I would stop being me. I would stop being creative. I would stop having opinions. I would stop sharing. So what is your response? How does the madness take over whenever your mindset is not in a good place? Okay, that's what I really want you to be thinking about in regards to this. Now, what I know for sure is that whenever the madness comes in, it's because we don't have an established routine. One thing I know is that the Small Business Administration tells us that the number one reason that most new businesses fail is because they didn't have a plan, okay? A simple business plan. And the point behind a business plan is that whenever we're in times of trouble, or our business is in trouble, we go back to our plan. We go back to what we said we were going to do from the very beginning. Now we have a plan. We have established what we need to do. We got to get back on plan. What I want to help you do today is I want you to find some simple tools that no matter what your mindset, okay, no matter what your mindset is, these are tools that you can use to work your business. Because let's be honest, I mean, there are times in life, okay, that it's not easy to keep working. There are things that happen along our pathway and along in our journey that affect our mindset. And sometimes it's not easy. And true success can be determined on how you respond to the madness. Okay. And so sometimes it's just a matter of having an established routine that no matter what, this is what I do. No matter what, I get up and I do this, 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 and this. So what I want to give you today is 5 simple things. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. Sometimes we have to go back to the basics, and sometimes we have to be reminded of what's important. Okay, so we're gonna, one thing I've noticed with agents over the years, and bear with me, I digress a lot, but one thing I've noticed is that when an agent is struggling in their business, it's usually one of 2 things. It's either a time management issue or it's a personal issue, okay? And the personal issues a lot of times affect the mindset to the point where they can't do their business. And we have to go in and we have to talk about that personal thing in order for them to be able to move forward. And what this is going to do for you, it's so simple, but what it's going to do for you is just on those days when you barely feel like you can work, or on those days when your mindset is not in a positive place, you can at least do these 5 things and you can feel productive. Okay, so they're simple things, and I'm going to go through them with you. And I'm also going to show you how to access the information through the TLR toolkit. Now, if you're not, like I said, if you're not a TLR agent, we would love to talk to you more about potentially becoming a TLR agent. However, I will still send you this information. If you'll email me, I can get this information to you so that you can use it. So what are 5 things you can do every day to establish a routine? Now, if you've been in the real estate business for more than 1 day, then you know that the #1 job of all real estate agents is what? I saw somebody.
Prospecting.
Yes, we have to lead generate and lead follow up, right? It's part of our business, and we have to do it every single day. Now, if your mindset is in a bad place and you're thinking, there's no way I can get on the phone with people today. There's no way I can even pick up the phone. I could barely get myself out of bed. There's so many other things that you can do to lead generate besides call someone on the phone. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but you have to lead generate every day. And you not only have to lead generate, you have to lead follow up. Now, I have had agents before who go through all the pains and processes of having the perfect open house. Let's say the 7-step open house, the 7-step open house to success, okay? And they do all those steps leading up to the open house. They even have this beautiful sign-up sheet that everybody signs. And then they go back to their office the next day and they don't follow up. They don't follow up with the people on the sign-up sheet. Okay, that's craziness. But you know why they don't do it? It's because of a mindset. Okay, because the more I talk to them and I ask them, you have this sign-up sheet with 13 couples who came through your open house. Some of them even told you they might be interested in buying the house. Why haven't you called them? These are the things that I've heard. I've heard them say things like, well, they might have another agent, or, well, I'm just scared. I don't know if I'll do the wrong thing, or I don't know, that I didn't really have rapport with them. Okay, we do not know what we can do until we do it. What's Michael Jordan say? You miss 100% of the shots that you never take, right? You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know what the circumstances are that you might really be able to find those people the perfect house. Okay, you are the agent for them. You have to tell yourself that. And sometimes it literally is a matter of propping yourself up, shifting that mindset, turning it around, making it make sense and making it work for you. Now, maybe somebody has told you all your life that you're not enough. Okay, let's go back to my original vulnerable moment where I'm sharing this value. One thing I might think was, oh, well, there was another open house down the street and there was a man there and he's been selling real estate for 5 years and he knows a lot more than I do. So I bet he'll call them. I bet he'll call them and I bet they'll want to do business with him instead of with me. Okay, that's how that stinking thinking, that mindset affected my ability to follow up with someone who could be my client. Okay, now I have to get that madness out of my head and I have to shift that thinking to the fact that I now have their name, I now have their phone number. I'm going to call them and I'm going to follow up with them. And by gosh, they're going to like me and they're going to do business with me, right? So what is it that you do? What is something that you do for lead generation on a day when your mindset is positive? Give me a few things that you might do.
Text instead of call.
Okay. Okay.
So Vineese, is this when your mindset is positive or when you're not positive? I missed that.
Either one. Either one. You could say either one.
Okay. So when my mindset is positive, I know that I know that when I'm lead generating, and obviously I'm doing it for a little bit different type of a client because I'm not actively selling, but I know there are people out there that need my service. So I have this moment that that I'm going to follow up with the people who have interfaced with me in life somehow, some way, that I know they could use a service, whether if it's a free 15-minute phone call or hire me as a coach. I just have this, I'm going to find them, the needle in the haystack.
Okay. And what that's going to do for you, Kit, is because you've said, I'm going to do something today where I know somebody needs it. So you're not going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get yeses, or you're going to get, maybe it's, what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to invite someone to go to coffee with me. Okay. And you don't think as that as lead generation, but it is lead generation because you're building relationships, and all business comes from relationships, right? And you're building core relationships. So if that's all you can do that day, then do that. Now, there are people out there who lead generate 3 hours every day. And you've probably heard that. You should be lead generating 3 hours every day. But let me tell you, if you lead generate 3 hours every day, you are a rock star. You are a rock star. And of all the agents I've coached, very, very, very few of them have lead generated 3 hours every day. Most of them maybe lead generate 3 hours a month. Okay. So what I want you to do is say, I'm just going to lead generate 30 minutes today. Okay. 30 minutes. And what happens is you're establishing a routine for success. You're establishing a routine that's going to shift your mindset away from, I hate lead generation, I can't do this 3 hours every day, to 30 minutes. I can do 30 minutes. You know, I can send a text out for 30 minutes. I can pick the phone up and talk to somebody for 30 minutes. I can go have a 30-minute coffee with somebody. Now, if you were to go to tlrcore.com, for those of you who are our agents, there is an agent toolkit. And in that agent toolkit, you will click on lead generation folder. And in the lead generation folder, there is something called a systems checklist. Now, this is an excellent tool for you to be able to use for your lead generation for each week. There's things in there like if you want to lead generate through social media, it has different ways you can lead generate through social media. How many times did you make posts? How many likes did you do on Facebook? You know, and it gives you a number, a suggested number that you can actually do. So this is an actual tool that you can use to help you lead generate. Now, like I said, again, if you don't have TLR Core, which is basically like our library and our university, it's a whole system of learning for our agents, and it's amazing. But this is one of the tools that is in there that you would have access to, along with many others, okay? But we have all of these tools, and a lot of us don't use them, and a lot of us don't even know where they are or how to use them. So part of what I want to do today is I want to introduce you to some of those tools that will help you with get the madness out of your life, okay? Number two, the number two thing I want you to do every single day is study your market. Okay, so we have lead generation, lead follow-up, and now you're going to study your market. It's simple. You're going to preview houses. You're going to go look at land. You're going to possibly look through commercial real estate. You're going to run statistics. You know, I run statistics via the MLS. We have a daily hot sheet that comes out that gives us statistics, current statistics all the time. So many of the realtors in my market don't even know it's there because they don't know that the MLS has it to offer. There's also lots of stuff that you can do through Google and ways that you can find out more about your market and things that are trends that are happening in your area. Another fantastic thing, one of my agents told me yesterday that his next door neighbor is one of the top agents in our market, and they were having a campfire on their, and he said, I just walked over there and we got to talking, and I started asking him what he thought about our current market. I started asking him, with 20 years experience in the business, what do you think is going to happen over the next few years? How do you think our market is shifting? What do you think we need to be doing? You know, when I was in the second grade, I had a teacher, Miss Leonard, bless her heart. I was a hard one. And every time she would start to teach something and she'd ask questions, Vineese would raise her hand up in the air. And this one particular time, everyone goes, ugh, Vineese always has a question. And Miss Leonard looked at everyone in that class and she said, now I don't want you to ever get on to Vineese for having questions, because the one who asks the most knows the most. And I've never forgotten that. And I tell that to all my clients, ask questions, because that's how we learn, right? And there is no such thing as a stupid question. So call other agents and ask them questions about the market. Ask them what they think. What can we learn? I know that the Locker Room Nation specializes in helping new agents to $3 million producing agents. So a lot of the agents who are on here today are probably newer agents who don't have a lot of expertise in this area, who've never seen a market like this, who don't know what to do and don't know how to move forward. And that's a mindset thing, right? Because options will give us a sense of control. And that in turn calms the madness inside of us. The more we know, the more clarity we have, the more confident that we can move forward. So study your market every single day. Here's just some information. Go to your local MLS market summary. Use Google to learn about listing trends and market trends, and always talk real estate and listen. Okay, number 3. Script and role play. This is my very favorite. Who else is this your very favorite? That's what I thought. Okay, so we don't generally like to script and role play. Why do you think that is?
I actually like it. We just don't do it. Who are we supposed to do it with?
Okay, so there's your answer. Who are we supposed to do it with? And I'm going to give you some options for that. But people generally, and the agents that I have, didn't like to script and role play until we gave them a different way to actually do it, right? A way that seemed fun, a way that worked, and being consistent and seeing the power behind script and role playing. You know, I've never had an agent come to me and say, you know, I wish I would not have learned that script. You know, when I was having that listing appointment, I wish I didn't know that. I wish I didn't. I wish I could have just like said what I wanted to say instead of what somebody who got every listing appointment they ever went on said, right? Because that's who writes these scripts, people who really know what they're doing and have had a lot of success with them. I've never had anybody say that to me. And I promise you, you won't either. What I've had them say instead was, oh my gosh, that script just like popped in my head today. And I said that to them and they like said, yeah, I think I'll do that. Yeah, you're right. Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're really making me think. That's what people say when we use scripts. They're powerful. You know, you don't have to script and role play for hours upon time. And you don't have to always have the mindset that I've got to do this with someone else. A lot of scripting is memorization. You can read a script and memorize it yourself. You don't need anyone else to help you do that. Okay. One of the things that I learned in Keller Williams when I was at Keller Williams was we can have reasons or we can have results. We can't have both. So if you want to learn scripts, then you set your mind to learn scripts. And how often? I mean, I want you to do it every day. I want you to do it 5 days a week, 5 working days a week. These 5 things are 5 days a week. How long? That's up to you. That's up to you. Do you want to memorize scripts or do you want to role play scripts? On the days when your mindset is positive and you're feeling really good about your business, lean on someone else's energy. Find someone who has that positive energy and who is a good scripter and ask them to role play with you, okay? And the rules of scripting can be different, but one of the rules for scripting is you always give them 2 to 3 objections, but then you let them have it. You let them win, right? We want to come out feeling like a winner in scripting, so you let them win. Some of the ways I've done scripting with my agents is I put them back to back, put them in chairs back to back, and they will literally act as if they're on the phone, but they can't actually see each other. Their backs are to each other. Or I've said, okay, you're going to do a 30-minute phone call every day. 15 minutes is for Kit and 15 minutes is for Karen. So when you call, you automatically know what script you're going to do. Maybe you're doing a cold call to a for sale by owner, and you say, okay, Kit, when you answer the phone, I want you to be the for sale by owner, and I'm going to be the agent. Okay. And then we're going to turn around and we're going to do the same thing. And you got to give them 2 to 3 objections, and then you let them have the listing. Okay. It's that simple. And if you do it over and over and you just do it 30 minutes every day, you're building a routine for success. And you said, Elizabeth, I don't know, who do I do it with? Well, one of the things that we offer too at TLR Nation is we have a Facebook group. These are all, I think there's over 3,000 agents on there right now. And all the time I see things on there, people looking for script partners. Okay. And if you're not a member of TLR Nation, you could also join all kinds of different real estate groups and just ask someone who's looking for a script partner. It doesn't even have to be someone in your town. It can be someone in a totally different state. You're just calling them on the phone and you're scripting. They don't have to see what you look like. You can do it in your pajamas. You can stay in bed and do it. Okay. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. Just no result, no reasons, just results. Right?
I like that saying.
Okay. Okay, so here is some really good information for you, and I'm happy to send this to you if you're not a TLR agent. But if you go to tlrcore.com again, you're going to go into the toolkit, into the agent folder, and then into the scripts folder. There is actually a script book in there for you. Okay, and this script book has everything from I'm a brand new agent, calling and letting people know, to listing appointment objections, okay, or trying to get a buyer to sign a buyer's agreement with you. There's scripts in there for everything. So it's a great resource tool for you, and I want to ask you to really take advantage of this tool and use it every day, even if you just read it. Okay, so that's your third thing. So why do we lead generate? For appointments, Karen said. Yes.
Yeah.
It brings business. We don't get closings without business.
That's absolutely right. And there's no sense in even lead generating if we're not lead generating for appointments. I mean, that's the whole purpose of lead generating. So when you go into something, you have to set your intention. My intention today, when I lead generate for just 30 minutes, is I want to build a relationship with someone who is going to give me business in the future and that I'm going to share business with. Okay, that's my intention today. Maybe my intention is I'm going to be of such service to someone today that they later in return want to be of service to me. Okay, that's my intention for my lead gen today. And then whenever you do what you do, you know what the intention is behind it. And it's not always about getting something in return. It's about planting those seeds. And I am a strong believer in we reap what we sow, right? Actually, I believe we reap more than what we sow. When you plant a tree into the fruit tree into the ground and you put that seed in there, that tree comes up with lots of fruit on it. It doesn't just come up with one piece of fruit. It comes up with lots of fruit. So whenever you're sowing, you're not just sowing for a one-fold return. You're sowing for a multiple-fold return. So keep that in mind in what you do. So what if you don't have any appointments, listing or buying appointments? What kind of other appointments can you put in your daily routine?
Going to the gym.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And what will going to the gym do for your mindset and the madness that comes in when you don't have any listing or buyer appointments?
Honestly, I don't know exactly what it's called, like the endorphins and things like that. It literally just makes me feel good. I feel, it's tackling something that I want to do, whether it's just stay healthy or whether it's losing weight. it's a sense of accomplishment to me.
Very good. That's what I wanted to hear you say. It's a sense of accomplishment. It's
Mhm.
whether or not I had an appointment for a listing or a buyer, because that's the business I'm in, at least I feel accomplished today because I did something good for me. And when you're at the gym, how could you turn that into a potential listing or buyer appointment?
Well, just talking with people. I
Just
love
talking with people.
networking. Mhm.
Yeah. Just getting people to know who you are or become familiar with your routine. You know, when I go to the gym, a lot of times the same people are there because I go at the same time, right?
Exactly.
And I look at every one of those people as a potential client for me. And you can do the same thing. You know, one of the things that I do regularly, I have an appointment with a running partner to run, and we run in different neighborhoods. And part of my objective in doing that is, first of all, I want to learn what comes on the market. You can learn a lot by routinely running through a neighborhood. You can see activity. If people are having garage sales, they're thinking about moving. You know, a lot of them are cleaning stuff out. I stop at their garage sale and I ask them, are you thinking about moving? Why are you having a garage sale? You know, I mean, that's generally the answer I get. And then when somebody is moving, if somebody has their house up for sale, maybe it's not a listing that you can get, but don't we know that if someone is selling, it's kind of like being pregnant. You see other people all around you that are pregnant. And when you're selling a home, you all of a sudden know all these other people that are selling homes. Could you not ask them, oh gosh, Kit's a great agent. She is a great agent. You know, I'm a great agent too. Do you know anyone else who might be looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? You're not trying to get their listing. You're trying to find out who else they know, because they obviously are going to be talking to other people now about their house for sale. Okay. And they might say, you know what, you should call so-and-so. I really liked her. I never knew her, or him, either one. So these are appointments that we can set with ourselves and with others around us when we don't have listing and buyer appointments. And we don't have to get down on ourselves about it because we don't have that kind of an appointment. We can have a different kind of appointment that takes us to a different place. Now, if you go again into TLR Core Toolkit, Agent Folder, Lead Generation Folder, there is a tool in there called 71 Ways to Build Your Database. And this is an awesome tool. It literally will give you all kinds of ideas on how to have appointments, what kind of things to do, and how to think outside your box. 71 ways actually, in order to build your appointments. So I want you to look at that and think about how that can effectively change your mindset. Okay, so the fifth thing that we should do every single day, and this is almost, to me, this is really important, because I don't know how many times we've gone to bed at night and we can't sleep, which sleep deprivation definitely affects our mindset, right? So we go to bed at night and we can't sleep because we have so many things on our mind, so many things turning. We just can't rest. And what I recommend for myself and to my clients is that you have to get that off your mind so that you can have a life outside of your business. Okay. I don't work to eat. I love to eat. Okay. But, and I know a lot of us love to eat. I want to work. I want my work to be a part of my life every day. I don't want to live to have to work. Does that make sense? I know there's a correct way to say that. I can't think of it right now, but yes, I same thing with you. I'm sure you want to be able to work and you want to be able to provide, but you want to be able to live. And if we can't get work off our mind so that we can live, it's going to create madness. So every day you need to plan your activities for your next day. Okay. And that is going to help you get what's on your mind off your mind so that you can live and you can just rest in the madness at the end of the night. So I don't know what time you actually do this or what time you actually quit working. I like to say around 5:30 or 6. I use the last 30 minutes of my day, my working day, to look at my open files Okay, and sometimes they're up here, but most of the time I like to have an open file on my computer. I look at my open files and I close them down one by one based upon what I'm going to do the next day. I always have a next step. So if you have a next step, then that puts your mind at ease. And then how many times do you get up in the morning? Have you got up in the morning, you go to work and you sit down and you don't know what you're going to work on? You don't even know what to do. I see this with agents all the time. I walk into the bullpen and they're sitting there with their computers open and, you know, maybe they're on Facebook or they're looking through their emails and they don't really have a plan for their day. And by the end of that day, you will have nothing accomplished and the madness will set in. And the wheels will start turning again, telling you whatever that mindset is at that point, whatever that, what it is that eats away at you in your mind. I like to describe it as like a child, a 2-year-old with a Sharpie, right? It just starts going crazy all over your mind and it takes you to places that you don't even want to go. And lack of planning will definitely cause that madness to set in. Now, again, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I went ahead one script, but it tells you what there is a great worksheet again that you can go in. It's called the life in the day of a career agent. It's the perfect schedule for an agent. Okay. And I don't know how to go back here. Let me see if I can, because I really want you to see that. Let me just look here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can see it's TLRcore.com, Toolkit, Agent Folder, Goal Setting Folder. It's called the Perfect Day Schedule. And then if you're a dual career agent, which really essentially means you have a real estate career and you also work another job, there's also a perfect day schedule for the dual career agent. So go in there and take a look at both of those. And that'll give you a really great way to plan your next day and show you the things that you should be doing on a regular basis. Okay, so
Yes. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's a good tool. So let's do just a little bit of a recap here. So we have 1 to 5 things because you're in the business of real estate. We have 5 things that I want you to do routinely on a day-to-day basis. We're going to lead generate and lead follow up. What's our next one?
Study the market, preview homes, call agents, all that good stuff.
That's right. That's all studying the market. What would be number 3?
Script and role playing.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Go ahead, Karen.
Script and role play.
Script and role play.
Yep, every day. What's number 4?
Go on appointments.
Go on appointments.
On appointments.
And ideally, you want those to be buyer appointments and listing appointments, right? But if they're not, we're just going to go on an appointment. Okay. And number 5, what is number 5?
Plan your next day.
Plan your next day. So we have 5 basic routine things we can do every day that are going to make us feel accomplished, and they're going to produce results over time. You know, success generally really comes through routine, and routine helps ease the madness in our minds. And we know that for sure. A lot of people who have autism, they rely upon the routine to help them make it through their day. I don't have autism, but I rely upon my routine to help me make it through the day. And it eases my mind and it helps me to feel accomplished at the end of the day. The number one thing that people say all the time is, and I'm sure you've said it too, is I'm trying, I'm giving it my best, I'm trying. And I love to think of Yoda when he says, there is no try, young Jedi. You do or you do not. So I have on here, it's time to stop trying and it's time to start training. Okay. If you are an athlete and you know that you are supposed to train to do a specific thing, Those athletes, what they do is every single day, they do the same things. And when the same things are not working, the same 5 things aren't working, they adjust. And how do they know how to adjust?
Feedback.
Feedback. And almost all of them have a coach. All the greats have a coach, right? Because a coach can see your blind sides. They can see things when you can't see them. A coach is supposed to be there to be able to bring you to peak performance. And as a coach, I just want you to know that these tools can make a big difference in your real estate career. They're simple. Success does not have to be complicated. It can be very simple. And if you will do these 5 things as a matter of routine, you will make your own luck. And you can stop trying and really start training. Do you have any questions for me? Anything that I can help you with right now?
Great stuff, Vineese. Thank you very much
Yeah,
for
thank
that.
you a
Yeah,
lot.
any questions for Vineese on, and I was kind of giggling, Vineese, because not everyone, but a lot of the folks on here are pretty darn seasoned agents that have been around for quite a long time. I'm get Karen, what were you, 1970? Something, she's probably
Now, 84.
84. You and I the
84.
same year, 84. Yeah, 84. There's someone
I was
else in the
94,
70s.
so.
Yeah.
That's why I said you were not that old.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's no matter, well, my point is, it doesn't matter if you're brand new into the business, you've been around for a while, that the information is always great information and good reminders of what we need to do on a consistent basis.
Yes.
Absolutely, because you always get in a rut. and
You do.
Put things off and there you are stuck.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And sometimes we just
Absolutely.
have to think about things a little differently, right? I mean, we get used to getting inside our heads and thinking we can only think a certain way. And it takes someone else to shift that thinking a little bit to give us a new way of thinking.
Absolutely.
Good. I'm glad you're teachable, Karen. That's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a perpetual student. I do as many trainings as I can.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, I'm thrilled to have been with you today. And like I said, my information is there. If I can ever be of help to you, I want to be. And we love the Locker Room Nation. I feel like it's a great resource for agents out there. And we hope we can continue to be a part of your lives. Thanks for joining me today.